All right, that was Dead or Alive 3. We're back here. We're just gonna keep doing throws just like last time with two hotties. The two hottiest hotties in the game. What did I think of Dead or Alive 3? Man, I once again, just like DOA 1 and especially like DOA 2, I had a lot of fun. I had a ton of fun. I really enjoyed this game. I enjoyed pretty much everyone that I played as. I didn't care for Genfu. I never care for Genfu. Genfu is not fun to use. But everyone else, I can't think of a single person that I actually disliked using, which is shocking. The game is so much also, before I continue any further, I'm terrible at fighting games. I'm not a fighting game guy. Just first and foremost, let's get that out of the way. So whatever I'm saying is just, it is the most casual take on this series that you could possibly take. You know, I only played story mode. That's the only thing I'm interested in playing. I just want to familiarize myself with DOA characters, because it's tied to Ninja Gaiden. That's literally my only interest. But at this point, I can confidently say that, yeah, I want to play all the DOA games. I'm having a blast. I'm at a point where, like, I'm invested in these characters. They're really interesting. All of them. I genuinely like all, except Genfu. I don't like Genfu whatsoever. It's not that I don't like playing as him, but as a character, I'm like, it is what it is. Doesn't really matter. The gameplay feels way faster. Way faster than DOA 2. I will say I like it more. I like the movesets more. It feels a lot more beginner friendly compared to DOA 2. The story mode was a lot more interesting than DOA 2 as well. Again, it does suffer from the fact that, like, it explains literally nothing to you. You know, there's so much that I've already read that is just not mentioned whatsoever in this2 This game just keeps throwing shit at you, and it's just like, okay, we're not gonna give context to literally anything. And that's the most, so far, between DOA 2 and 3, that's just been the most frustrating thing out of everything. But aside from that, game looks good. Not as good as DOA 2 Ultimate, because it is an older game by like 3 years, but I think it still looks pretty great. You know, the buxom babes, still buxomest and babyest they've been. It's been pretty great. The costumes are okay. This is the first time where you don't just unlock costumes just by beating the campaign or each person's story mode. So that was very confusing and honestly kind of disappointing, because I liked unlocking a costume and, you know, completing a story, unlocking a costume, and then just immediately just seeing what it looks like. I surely there are costumes to unlock. I'm just very confused that it just didn't throw one at you for at least completing a character's story. That was very weird to me. So yeah, that was a little disappointing. But aside from that, you know, gameplay is excellent. I really enjoyed it a lot. My absolute favorite change in terms of gameplay is the fact that you can now actually circle a character very easily. It is very easy to circle a character now. Unlike, I mean, you couldn't do it in DOA 1, and in DOA 2, it was insanely stiff. Like, to the point where it feels like it barely worked. But in this one, yeah, dude, it feels fantastic. So smooth, so easy. The game is so much faster, and, like, you really feel it, but, like, it feels good. It feels really good. Story mode wise, the Omega fight. Holy shit, the Omega fight. Awful. Literally the worst part about this game. Aside from the weird costume unlocks for completing story mode. Like I said, I'm only interested in the story mode. That's really all I'm going to talk about, because I'm only interested in, you know, learning about the characters that are related to Ninja Gaiden. But like I said, I'm invested. I will play DOA, but the only time I'm ever really going to play other modes aside from story when it comes to these DOA games is once I'm caught up with the series. Then I'll experience all the extra stuff. Otherwise, I'm not really interested. I just want to get through the series and, you know, experience everyone's stories and get caught up is really all I'm saying. But yeah, back to Omega. Awful fight. Genuinely fucking awful. It has that stupid, weird effect that was in the Tengu fight, that like weird ghosting effect, which is terrible, awful on the eyes, just an absolute strain. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is the stupid perspective. And it's the only time you ever have that perspective where it's like behind you and at a low angle, and that makes it extremely difficult to tell the distance between you and Omega. On top of that, Omega has ranged attacks, which is really fucking dumb. And then on top of that, Omega has this stupid just ability that whenever he drops down to the ground, you just get blasted, which is extremely difficult to avoid getting hit by. You know, I'm sure people who actually know how to play fighting games and shit, they don't have any difficulty with it. That's fine. It's whatever. I don't particularly give a shit. I really don't. This is a beginner's perspective, a beginner who just wants to play the story mode, and that's it in a fucking fighting game. So, you know, take that as you will. Very stupid, very difficult. The entirety of the Omega fight, just because you just put it at a disadvantage for the just retarded camera angle, and then his dumb ranged attacks, and then him falling to the ground, and then causing a blast that just appears like right on you. That's extremely difficult to avoid. And then on top of that, it's like it takes him literally no time to get back up. I genuinely cannot track with my eyes like how he got up. I genuinely think it's like bam, he hits the ground, and then somehow he just sort of like does like a, I don't know, like a warp animation is my guess. I never got a good look at it because I never could get a good look at it. Not getting hit was my focus. I hated the Omega fight. I genuinely hated. That was the worst part about this game. But aside from that, I think the gameplay is overall greatly improved from DOA 2. The speed is a very welcome change. It feels much more beginner friendly. I very much appreciate that. It overall made it a much more fun game to play. And the best part, I mean, I don't know if it's the best part because the gameplay being so much improved is honestly the best part. But my next favorite part is the FMVs. Holy crap, the FMVs. A large portion of them were amazing. Just the fact that they were FMVs to begin with. Holy crap, that's awesome. I was not expecting that. It's fantastic. A lot of them were largely interesting, and it was very cool. Very beautiful, very interesting, very cool. I loved it. I loved it. I love this game. I've so far, I think I've had the most fun. I'm sorry. As soon as I said that, I thought of the Omega fight, and I was like, yeah, what? Did I have the most fun with this one, or did I enjoy DOA 2 Ultimate more just because I didn't have to deal with Omega? No. Despite Omega, I had the most fun with DOA 3 so far. Dead or Alive 3. Wow, what a game. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know about the costume situation. I find it extremely unlikely that you can't unlock costumes. I'm sure you can. I just don't know how. I'm sure there's probably a million different things you could do to unlock costumes. Unfortunately, I didn't get to unlock any. I didn't get to see any. It is what it is. Oh well. I still had the most fun with this game. I enjoyed it very much. It did suck going from DOA 2 Ultimate to DOA 3. DOA 2 Ultimate is a newer game by like 3 years, so the characters do look better in that game, but I think they still look pretty great in this game. They look fantastic. You know, Kasumi, Ayane, all the ladies still looked fantastic. And that's it from me. I enjoyed this game very much. Hot ladies. Hot ladies, buxom babes all around. Fantastic, loved it. That's what I'm calling it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing or becoming a member of the channel, and follow me on Twitch for more of my shenanigans. Most importantly, hit up the Discord where you can keep up with all my projects, uploads, and live streams. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching.